I don't have a gold cowboy hat, but last congrats to Oklahoma for winning this year's Red River Rally matchup versus Texas in what was a fun game in Dallas. 34-30 was the headliner at the start today, and we got a fun one to end the night in the Coliseum as USC won in overtime, 3 overtimes to be exact, versus a unranked Arizona. But alas, it was a fun-filled college weekend and NFL weekend, which we'll go over a bunch in a short few, talking about, the the Baltimore Orioles are in trouble. The number 1 seed in the American Conference is in trouble. And the MLB playoffs possibly being one and done, as they're down 0-2 versus the Texas Rangers, who have done a hell of a job. We'll go over thoughts on the Major League Baseball playoffs so far as well. We got a few things definitely to go on. Podcasts as well, of course. It was not a great day or a great week rather, as far as NFL picks on my part. It's always difficult, but at the same time, I hate these pop-ups on the screen. 1 sec. Okay, there we go. Oh. I X out of this. Okay, 1 second. There we go. Okay, back. But the thing is, it's tough in the fact where you want to. It's easy to pick the favorites for every week, and you can get a winning week every week, but at the same time, if you want to try to get a really supreme week, say like 14-2, 13-3, 15-1, or alas, there's only 14 games. Upsets happen, and trick thing is trying to figure out when those upsets occur. I think that's been my biggest issue as far as this season. But alas, it wasn't a great week as far as picks. We will be back at it with NFL predictions at the end. But anyway, thank you guys all for joining me for another edition of Sports Overview of Topics, where we chime in about whatever you want to talk about, whether it's college football, NFL football, baseball, playoffs. Got stuff going. A couple weeks before basketball season comes back to life. So keep in mind for that, guys. But of course, before we get into everything, thank you all for joining me. If you're new to podcasts and want to get access to all the videos, just click the subscription, AJO2 and Love, all that, and much more videos, shorts, etc. Find access all throughout the channel. Where I talk about both sports, and for those who enjoy my pro wrestling side, you can look at those as well. So keep an eye on for those. So anyways, thank you guys. And yeah, let's get into it with college football at its finest. So, what started a fun-filled Saturday of college football Texas, Oklahoma. Basically started it was kind of the main event in the open. But either way, it was a fun-filled game. Oklahoma, credit to them, credit to Dylan Gabriel. He had a very good day, including the game-winning drive. But yeah, 23 of 38. I want to get these exact. 23 of 38, 285 yards. The game-winning touchdown. And on the ground, he had 14 carries for 113 yards and a touchdown. Farouk had 130 yards rush or receiving, But yeah, it felt like Oklahoma was the more physical team throughout the day. I mean, it was relatively close until it became 27-17. You know, credit to Texas. They came all the way back. They didn't get the lead at 30-27. But, you know, leaving too much time left on for Oklahoma. I get it. Hindsight's 2020. At the same time, though, you see how swiftly. No, that was for talking about Travis Kelce. But Texas and everyone could see how well Oklahoma was moving the ball up and down on Texas. So that decision for Steve Sarkisian on fourth down to the side, you're in field goal range, you're tied, but you want a chance to leave as little time on the clock as possible for Oklahoma to send it to overtime or etc. And I get it, you want the lead, but in a way, going for it would have probably been better. Now, who knows if they would have made it, but if they had, you know, you can easily say, well, could have ran more time on the clock, you know, and if not, they could have kicked the game-winning field goal. But yeah, Texas had their chances, you know, that drive when they had 4 plays at the 1 and could not punch in. That was, their fault. Quinn Ewers wasn't as bright as say, although he was pretty efficient. 31-37 for 346 yards. He did have a touchdown, but 2 picks weren't great. Brooks had a very good day, 129 yards rushing. Wington and Worthy both had over 100 yards receiving. But yeah, Oklahoma felt like the more physical, just great thing for Oklahoma. Last year they were 3-0. Yeah, 3-0. Then they fell apart. This year they're one of the only undefeated teams left at 6-0, and they've proven they can tangle with the best of the best. Now, we're going to bring down Texas, I get that. But at the same time, against the 12th team in the country, only losing by 4, and they had chances to win. So, despite turnovers and sloppiness, Texas is still a playoff team worthy, and commend them for it. What was also fun was LSU over Missouri 49-39. Yeah, that was a back and forth game. Next up, the 3 big shockers were UCLA over then number 13 ranked Washington State. Although it's in the Pac-12, so can't fault them too much. But yeah, UCLA took this 25-17. And big jump. They moved in front of them. Now, get into rankings in a few. Georgia, after taking everything they could from Auburn last week, they thrashed Kentucky, ranked Kentucky, their first ranked opponent of the year. Had no problem. But the other big upset was Louisville. Louisville taking out then number 10 ranked Notre Dame, 33-20. When Sam Hartman went to Notre Dame, I think many others thought he was their missing piece. We saw what he could do at Wake Forest, and with Notre Dame, bigger competition, more pressure on it. Yeah. It wasn't some cupcake organization with a cupcake schedule all throughout. But yeah, I was surprised when they at least score more for Ohio State. And then coming to now, surviving Duke and then losing in putrid fashion versus Louisville. Credit to Louisville. They are been on the upswing, and Notre Dame just took a mighty fall, I sure would say. So yeah, with a number of upsets, I will say USC surviving, Arizona, damn. But that was fun. That was fun at the end. Fafita, great job for Arizona. The kid stepped up to the plate, so great job for him. It just further proves that USC's defense, we know the offense is there, but the defense is what's, it's what's going to hold them back from winning a national championship. So, based on the upsets, notably, surprise, Georgia and Michigan still number 1 and 2. The action kicked in. So, because Texas lost to Oklahoma, Ohio State and Florida State both moved up to respective 3 and 4. Oklahoma made the big jump from 12 to 5. Penn State, Washington, and Oregon, who were all idle, drop down spot. That, though, is going to be the get your popcorn ready game Saturday. Washington and Oregon. Michael Penix Jr. versus that Bo Nix-led offense. That's going to be fun. To the top 10 duking out to see who deserves to be up on the list and edging towards a Pac-12 championship, and assuming the playoffs, it's going to be interesting. Texas, well deserved. They didn't fall out of the top 10. Fell to 9. And USC, with surviving Arizona, fell again despite another win to 10. Alabama made sense with being Texas A&M by 6. Say where they're at. UNC keeps moving up to 12. Ole Miss back in top 15, 13. Louisville, with that big upset, move from 25 to 14, move up 11 spots. UCLA, again with that upset, moved up to 18. I'm glad. So, Miami, one of the reasons why you love college football. So, Miami had the game won. They were in Georgia Tech territory, up by 3. Less than a minute to go. All they had to do was take a knee. And what do they do? They fumble. Georgia Tech. And then with 1 second left on the clock, great job by Haynes King to buy time. Do a pass, but what was that Miami defense? All you have to is guard the end zone, and you don't lose. Instead, receiver makes it past the defense, scored a touchdown, and then they win it. And once again, Mario Cristobal, whereas about Hurricanes fans are probably livid that Mario Cristobal decided to, yeah. Gosh. But I like that Georgia Tech, because of that hiccup, didn't end up in the top 25. Miami just fell to 25. So there we go. But yeah, we got some fun matchups now to look forward to this weekend. So we have 4 ranked matchups this weekend, and one looks very different. So there you go. So prior to Sunday, or the rankings changing, it was going to be number 9 versus number 10, USC versus Notre Dame. Now you got number 10 versus number 21. Notre Dame's on their heels. USC again, they are narrowing with these victories when they should reality be winning, pulling away. Now, credit to Arizona. They wound up ahead 17-0, and USC came back, but you know, ay. 3 overtimes. Miami this is gonna be fun. Miami, after that collapse of judgment, they go face UNC and Drake May on Saturday. That's gonna be fun. A pivotal matchup in the Pac-12. UCLA versus Oregon State. Can UCLA keep up that momentum? We'll see. And then, like I said, the main event. Number 8, Oregon versus number 7, Washington. Yes, I said UCLA versus Oregon State was a pivotal, but this is the grand daddy of them all, pretty much, in the Pac-12. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I've been love. Michael Penix Jr. is currently the odds-on favorite for the Heisman. However, Oregon, I'm loving their team. Yeah, I just think Oregon, you know, I'm just going with Oregon, you know, until they lose. This team is very good, and yeah, Oregon over Washington. I'm going with that. Yeah, a fun one. And so let's chime in about the MLB playoffs quickly before we get into the NFL week 5, and on to week 6 with predictions. But as far as the MLB playoffs go, they've been rapidly developing Twins took care of the Toronto Blue Jays, winning their first playoff series in, 20 years? Something like that. Or they got their first playoff win in 20 years, so congrats to them. They're now not up 1-1 versus the Astros as they're playing right now. Tampa Bay, it was the last undefeated team left in the MLB season. Start out, 13-0. Fall short, 1-9 versus the Texas Rangers. Texas stayed hot. Arizona took care of Milwaukee. They're now up 2-0 on the LA Dodgers, looking to send the Dodgers home early. And then the Phillies. Bryce Harper and them took care of the Marlins and knotted up 1-1 after the Braves had a very good comeback last night, down 4-0 now, and then managed to win it on a very good defensive play by Michael Norris III. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, very good play and knotted up. And definitely the most intriguing divisional round series of the four. I was going to mention, it's in the thumbnail, but the Baltimore Orioles, who are the best team in the American Conference, are already in trouble. They're down 0-2 to Texas after letting 8 people walk. I mean, that is they're in deep doo-doo. Being down, of going out 1-done. We'll see if they can turn it around. Now let's talk about a eventful NFL Week 5. Wasn't as eventful as my picks, or more eventful, I would say. 7-7, so 500 this week, but yeah, none too pleasant. But let's go over the games really quick. So, Bears, and we could probably say Matt Eberflus stopped the bleeding as Justin Fields 5 touchdowns on the day and 230 receiving yards by DJ Moore in Washington, as Washington Commanders, small minority owner Magic Johnson claimed the team had no fight in the first half. I will say he has a point. Although the Commanders did mount a little bit of comeback, but it's not great. But credit to Justin Fields. I'm sure Bears fans were probably thinking, where was this for the first 5 weeks or first 4 weeks of the season? Jaguars 2-0 in London this year. They beat the Bills 25-20. it being their second straight game in London after being the Falcons last week. The offense hasn't been as pretty as it was at the end of last season for Trevor Lawrence and company, but they're getting it done. They're on a bit of a win streak, and on them Bills, going internationally, first time this season, Josh Allen for Josh Allen, probably on me because, last time we saw him, it was 9-6 Jacksonville, and that was with a bad Jaguars offense. But, bit of a come down for Bills offense, after that 3-game winning streak. And, tearing it up against Miami. But, yeah, good win for Jags. Good win for Desmond Ridder, silencing critics. And I'm not sure if the line moved much at all, but Falcons won 21-19 as Falcons muster up a game-winning drive down 19-18. It was a sluggish game, but surmounted it well. Lions, one of the best teams in the league. I'll be honest as well. I think the Panthers are in big trouble. Big trouble. The reason I say that is, they're the only team that has won a game yet this year. And the Bears have their number one pick next year. And CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson are playing much better than Bryce Young has thus far. Now again, the weapons are left to be desired in Carolina, but you drafted number one for a reason. And I can tell the rift between Carolina management and the ownership on who they wanted at number one. But yeah, credit to the Lions without, Amon-Ra St. Brown, without Jahmyr Gibbs. They're just having fun. They're doing what we expect them to look like so far this season. Jared Goff is playing like one of the best QBs in the league. Sam Laporta, he's looking like a gem and a steal. Aiden Hutchinson, not much you can say about him. Colts ended the losing streak for the Titans. They won 23-16. Anthony Richardson, speaking to him, he did get hurt again. Suffered a sprained AC joint in his shoulder. Gardner Minshew came in and did well. But Zach Moss, the MVP of the day, had 160 yards rushing. Zaire Franklin, tackling machine on the Colts. He ultimately thwarted the possibly game-tying drive or game-leading drive for the Titans. Yeah, credit to him. Despite a great day from DeAndre Hopkins. despite a pick six, Dolphins again rolling. They beat the Giants 31-16. I mean, yeah, despite that pick six, Tua played very well. Devon Achan, great job. He's done. I mean, the only thing they really needed was a sound running game, which they didn't really have a reliable running game last year. I mean, they did have Mostert, they did have Jeff Wilson, but they didn't have a reliable, I would say, running game. Now with Achan, he's just added another element to their already very fast offense. And I'm not sure how Giants fans feel about it, but Daniel Jones left with a neck injury. You know, already without Saquon, who knows if he plays next week. And then Jones now hurt. We'll see. It's not looking good for G-Men. Same with the Patriots. 34-0. Saints won. I mean, I don't know what to say about how Mac Jones has been playing the last couple weeks. It's not been pretty. And again, Bailey Zappi thrust in at the end of the game. You know, I honestly don't see how Mac Jones starts next Sunday for the Raiders. I don't see how. Saints were efficient. They did what they needed to do. Honey Badger started at a pick six, and it was all of them. I mean, Patriots had one decent drive that resulted in a missed field goal. Yeah. I'll be honest, I did not see. Credit to Steelers. They pull a rabbit out of the hat with this win. Excuse me. But it was 10-3 for a while. I mean, and then Ravens bypassed the field goal. Next thing you know, it's still same score. Steelers block a punt into the end zone for a safety. And then a field goal. They only took one long touchdown to George Pickens. And then, yeah, Lamar Jackson throws a pick. There you go, in the end zone. Bengals, for the first time this year, looked like the Bengals. They beat the Cardinals 34-20. Again, I may have seemed dumb, but look, I had to see it before I could pick them again. And yeah, Jamar Chase, 14 catches for almost 200 yards. I ready to say Cardinals again putting up another good fight, but wasn't enough. And what Eagles won in SoFi 23-14. It was really competitive in first half, and then the Rams defense did its job, but the offense kind of just collapsed. I don't know what to say. Jets team back on track. They won 31-21. It was a field goal moment from Nathaniel Hackett after the chatter from Sean Payton about how Hackett did last year with the Broncos. But yeah, Zach Wilson, he isn't playing great, but from the game versus Chiefs and the game versus the Broncos, he's playing well. And you don't have to play great with Breece Hall run that well. With that defense, you just have to play well. You have to not turn over the ball, make some good throws, and you can win some good football games. And that's what they did. Broncos are stuck in mud, I'd say. I wouldn't entirely say it's Russ's fault. I mean, he has 11 touchdowns, 2 picks so far this year. He's done a decent job. It's just the defense and the run game hasn't been great this season. Chiefs won 27-20. I could say the underlying thing about what happened at the end of the game. The reality is, what you want to say, the refs or whatever. Reality is, Vikings had another fumble on the first drive. They had 7 drops. 3 by Hawkinson, who is now the highest paid tight end in the league. 1 which could have tied it for the game-tying touchdown to Alexander Madison on a screen. I mean, they saw a chance at the end for a Hail Mary, but wasn't enough. And they blew all their timeouts, which they could very well use to have more time at the end. The Vikings. Same for the Cowboys, 42-10. 49ers very well had their way with the Cowboys. Dak, look, all the Dak campaigners, have said before, I'll say again. I like Dak. I think he's good, but I think he's overpaid. And against a team many presume to be the best team in the NFL, shrunk. Just shrunk. And then the cap off was an exciting one in Vegas, as the Raiders held on to win 17-13. Jordan Love threw 3 picks, including what was the game-clinching one to Amik Robinson, but Robert Spillane, the linebacker, scored 2. Jimmy G looked decent. Besides that one pick, played relatively decent. Devontae Adams, we knew he was dealing with a shoulder issue. He only had 4 catches on night, but he had some crucial ones late. Jacoby Myers was pretty much go-to. I mean, Patriot fans probably, me too, probably wish they still had him. But, yeah. Raiders getting another dub, and Max Crosby is a beast. Not more can be said. Yeah. You know, looking at their schedule, they can go on their win streak and very well get some W's. We'll see. We'll see. And I'm not saying they'll go to playoffs, but I'm saying they can have a very good record, like a over 500 record at the end of the year. Is that enough with the teams in the AFC? I don't know. But yeah. So let's see. Now let's go to week 6. Rolling through these like quick. Alright, so start off, short week. Thursday night football. Broncos. After that spiral of a bad loss to the Jets on a short week, have to go to Kansas City. Was basically a must-win game for them. Must win in week 6. You know, it was a must-win for the Broncos against the Bears after 28-7. They rallied back. They're going to have to find that same fire they did in Chicago to win against the rival Chiefs. Now, Travis Kelce, he did go out. He did take a weird slip in the Vikings game. Ultimately came back with a heavily taped ankle and finished the game with a touchdown. Now, they said it's a low ankle sprain. He did not practice yesterday, but he is practicing today. I think that if Kelce wasn't playing, then it could be similar to the Lions-Chiefs game start. But even if he's out there less than 100% as a decoy, that's going to be weird for Broncos defense. So I'm going to go with Chiefs here, 26-20. I don't think they cover 10.5 points. Third straight game in London. Titans playing the Ravens. It's funny how it says at, but considering it's in London, fair game. Ravens, last I checked, 3-point favorites. Now, the good news about Lamar, it's not against the Steelers, it's not against Pittsburgh. But it's a team that has plenty of experience for sim. Now, in 2019 playoffs, they were 1-0 for Titans. And that MVP season by Lamar, 2020 regular season, they lost in overtime. Now, they got revenge in the playoffs that season, but there's clearly a stylistic, physical nature when it comes to these games. Lamar, I don't know. This offense feels off in a way. Just feels like really off some days. And I don't know how to explain it. But we can definitely, I mean, the offense goes as Lamar goes. Simple. That's so unfortunate how it is. Now, I do think they missed J.K. Dobbins. Definitely. And Zay Flowers, it's been a couple weeks since he's had a good game. Shot Bateman in and out. OBJ, he's been in and out. I mean, it's not been great sporting gas for Ravens. For the Titans, pretty odd because Tano, it's definitely been his weakest start for the Titans thus far in his Titans tenure. 2 touchdowns to 5 picks passing the ball. Now, last week or Sunday was the first big week for DeAndre Hopkins. So it feels like they have their chemistry more brewing. Derrick Henry was a great day. Run the ball. It's tough. 3-point favorite for Ravens. I'm going with the Titans, so it's tough, but no matter who I pick, someone ends up. Usually, when I pick one of these two teams, one of them burns me. But just judging from the eyeball test, going 27-20 Titans in London. Commanders at Falcons. Taylor Heineke Revenge Bowl. Although, unfortunately, unless Ritter gets injured, which I hope he doesn't, unless we get Taylor Heineke against his old team, Falcons 2-point favorites at home. They said how Ritter has a very good record at home, both at Cincinnati and for Atlanta. Commanders are a 3-game losing streak, so something has to give. Well, the reality is the Commanders could have won the game for the Eagles. That's the thing. And then they come home on a short week and they get blown out by the Bears. Now the Falcons did trade for Van Jefferson. So looking at another weapon to pair up with Drake London and Kyle Pitts, which could help Desmond Ritter. I mean, Jefferson's another big target with good speed. So it's weird, but I'm going to go with Falcons 23-20. Falcons win and they cover. There we go. This one I think will be much more interesting than Cowboys 49ers Sunday Night Football. 49ers at Browns in Cleveland. 49ers 5-point favorites on the road. Now the biggest question is going to be Deshaun Watson. Now, so just said, so he obviously missed last week's game, or the game a couple weeks ago versus the Ravens. We saw how horrible that went for their offense, especially when young QBs getting a day's notice or morning notice. So question will be, so it just looked at it, said he missed practice today. Again, the shoulder injury, odd considering how much they pay him. Especially now with Nick Chubb out for the rest of the year. It's pretty odd. Pretty odd. But yeah, the defense. Now defense is going to be fun for this game, especially since it's going to be in Cleveland. If Deshaun was playing, if I knew he was playing, I'd be fit to maybe picking upset, but assuming it's DTR or PJ Walker, I'm going to have to go with the the 49ers. Now, I do think the Browns defense will cause some issues for Brock Purdy. So, I think they'll be scoring a little less. But nonetheless, 26 to 14. 49ers, San Francisco. Saints at Texans. Saints 1.5 point favorites on the road. Now again, it was a weird game. It was a close game between the Texans and the Falcons for as long as it was, and then a couple touchdowns later by both, and well, you know. So yeah, just checking the lines again. Make sure all is fair. So we could tell that after having its way first, the Jaguars and the Steelers hit a bit of a wall versus Falcons. Now going home. Texans. Stroud still hasn't thrown a pick. 7 touchdowns, no picks. Derek Carr, still doesn't seem totally healthy. But, got weapons across the board. I got burned by both these teams last week. Yeah, I have to go with the Texans here. Or the Saints. Saints here. $23-20. Vikings at Bears. Vikings 3-point favorites. Now Justin Jefferson put on IR. Vikings 3-point favorites on the road. Look, the Bears got momentum. Vikings, after that win on the road, 10 days rest. Vikings need a win. They need a win. Sad to say, but they need a win. And I don't know if they can pick them right now. Especially with the way the Bears are probably feeling after that win. So I'm going to say 24-21. Bears win at home. What I think should be flexed into Sunday Night Football, Seahawks at Bengals. Bengals 2.5 point favorites at home. T. Higgins, check out his status. He missed Cardinals game with an injury. So let's see what it says really quick. Yeah. Does not say, but look, I'm going with the Bengals. I said they were gonna have to look like them before picking them again. Well, they did. I'm picking them for a fun one versus the Seahawks, 27-23. We'll see. Jags hosting the Colts. Jags, 4.5-point favorites. Colts have not beaten the Jags in Jacksonville since Andrew Luck was the starter. That was what, 2014? Last time they beat them. I mean, Gardner Minshew could be. Look, the Jags offense has not been looking like great as we kind of expected, but they've been shown efficiency last couple weeks. Now they're back home. I'm going to say 27-21 Jacksonville. Miami hosts the worst team in the league, Carolina. Miami 13.5-point favorites. 29-14 Miami. Raiders hosting the Patriots. Raiders 3-point favorites at home. Staying at home. Patriots, I don't know. Whether it's Bailey Zappi, Malik Cunningham, someone may start else this week. Okay, they may have something on Jimmy G, but God block Max Crosby, and the reality is the offensive line has been a shell of what it used to be. So I'm going to go with the Raiders 20-12 to get back to 500. And Raiders fans feeling good after a weird start. Another game which could be Sunday Night Football. Lions going to Tampa. It's going to be fun. Lions 3-point favorites on the road. See, last we saw Baker Mayfield, he was heroic and happy as his Sooners beat Texas in the Red River Rally game on Saturday. Lions last we saw him toyed with the Panthers. So this is going to be a unique game. Both offenses have been steady. The question will be Amon-Ra St. Brown's status for this game. Baker and the Buccaneers have been winning. They have been winning. So, said that Dan Campbell is optimistic that he'll return for Sunday. If that is the case, then going with the Lions here. Yeah, this is going to be tough. But yeah, going with the Lions here, 28-24 in Tampa. Rams hosting the Cardinals. Obviously, divisional rivals. Cardinals have continuously put up a fight, but second week back, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, they'll figure stuff out and they'll win 24-17. Again, another game that had a different outlook start the season. Eagles going to face the Jets in MetLife. Eagles 7-point favorites on the road. Now, Eagles would be wise to not take the Jets now lightly because the Jets have momentum. Zach Wilson has been playing well last two games. He hasn't been great, but he's been improving. And with that Jets defense, that's going to be a ultimate fun thing to watch. The Jets defense versus the O-line of the Eagles. Now, I think we can say that the Eagles' offense has taken a step back than it did last season. Hasn't been explosive, it's still very good. It just hasn't been many points. Call me crazy, but seems like good something. I'm going with the Jets here for this upset. 26-21. I feel like the Jets defense will make a play and cause bad news for this Eagles team. So, yeah, 26-21. Jets win. Sunday Night Football, though. Bills hosting the Giants 28-13. Going with 14-point favorites for the Bills. Simple. Monday Night Football should be an interesting one, though. Coming more revenge game. Chargers hosting the Cowboys. Cowboys 2.5-point favorites. Chargers off a bye. More time to prepare for the Cowboys. Just got humiliated. Cowboys will put up a fight, but 23-17, Chargers win. That's how we cap off week 6. So there you go. But yeah, thank you guys, though, for joining me on the podcast today. Hope you guys enjoy it. See you guys next week. Hopefully get more right this week. So we'll see. Adios. Peace.